Today I'm talking about what not to do at the start of your illustration career. When you're starting out as an illustrator, there's lots of advice about what to do, but you also have to consider what not to do. If you read every book and watch every video on how to become an illustrator, you're going to have a list as long as your arm of things to do. But not all of those things are equally important. Some of those things might not be important at all until you get a bit further on in your career. You have to know what the priorities are and what can wait. So after reading all those books and blogs and watching all those videos, you might be thinking you've got to be posting new work on social media every day, working on a custom website, printing mail outs, business cards and postcards, that kind of thing, entering competitions, blogging, finding a studio space, printing a portfolio, networking, not to mention actually practicing drawing or whatever it is you do. How much of that is important before you actually have a paying client? None of it. Maybe you need a studio space if you can't work at home. But these things are distractions from what your primary goal should be, which is getting your first paying clients. As a brand new illustrator, your work time should be divided into two things only: making a great selection of work, which you do by practicing and developing, and contacting clients to show them that work. You don't need to spend any money doing that, besides the cost of living. Yes, you need a website, but it doesn't need to be custom built or be particularly flashy. It just needs to be functional. And you can do that very cheaply. Squarespace or Cargo or something like that. You could even use Behance if you really can't spend any money. And that presents work in a nice way, and it's free. And it'll take, a few hours to set up, that's all. Then you're making new work and you're contacting potential clients. You're making new work and you're contacting potential new clients until you find your first paying client. If you distract yourself with all those other things, you are wasting precious time on non-essentials. You're ignoring the hard part, which is getting in touch with the clients, by distracting yourself with easy tasks that won't get you anywhere. A professional illustrator gets paid to do work, so the shorter the time you can get to that stage, the better. If you do all those things on that list, eventually you still have to get those paying clients. The longer it takes you to get paid, the smaller your bank balance gets. Then you need to think about a day job, which means you have less time and energy to spend on illustrating, which means the process takes even longer. My best advice to you would be to save up enough money to live on for 3 or 4 months and commit to what I've described. Make new work, contact clients. Make new work, contact clients. If you've got any questions about that process, let me know in the comments. I don't believe anything will motivate you as much as getting paid to illustrate something. Now, if you spend 3 or 4 months working on your Instagram followers, you might have 1,000+ followers at the end of those 3 to 4 months. That's cool, but what does it really get you? Absolutely nothing. The little ego boost that you get when you see a new like isn't going to pay the bills. Listen, there is a time and a place for all the things in that list. Well, some of the things in that list, but it comes later, once you're earning a living. Nobody wants to read the blog of an illustrator that isn't getting paid. Do you know what I think when I see a beautiful, expensively printed submission from a brand new artist? I think they've wasted their money. You don't need a business card. And the only time you should be printing a portfolio is if someone specifically asks you for it. Otherwise, don't bother, because you might never be asked for it. If you're printing mail outs before you've had a few paying clients, how do you know which of your illustrations are the most popular? How do you know what people like? You don't. Do those mail outs a year or so in, after you've had a few clients and seen some real feedback on your work. That's your market research. Then you can make a mail out with one of your most popular illustrations on it. Otherwise, you run the risk of wasting money that you need to live on a mail out that nobody likes, and they go in the bin most of the time. Not because people don't appreciate them, but because it's clutter. I like a tidy desk. The best marketing strategy for a beginner is the one that's cheapest and that will get you results the fastest, and that's email. Don't spend a month designing a mail out, posting it out, then waiting another 3 months to see if you get any responses. Send an email for free and get the same feedback within a couple of days. You'll get ignored and rejected as a beginner a lot, so don't waste time, energy and money on mail-outs. An email takes 5 minutes to write. You can repeat that process as many times as you want without depleting your energy or your bank account. Let's talk about social media for a second. I'm not a big fan, generally speaking, but it is necessary for an illustrator, I know that. But a social media following does not equal success. Success is making a living from your illustration work. The social media following is a byproduct. It's not the goal. Some artists do get a lot of work through their social media, but for a new artist, it's probably not where you're going to get your first paid jobs. Your first 100 followers are likely going to be your friends and family. They're not going to give you any industry experience, and they're even less likely to pay you for it. You could keep yourself very, very busy for a few months, chasing likes and writing blog posts, only to realize at the end of it that you've not even got a paid job yet. What's more motivating for you? 1,000 new Instagram followers or seeing your illustrations published somewhere? Wouldn't it be better to get your work published first and then earn your fans? I'm not saying you should ignore social media completely, but if you are using Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Dribbble, Behance, you're writing on your Tumblr, plus you're updating all the other online portfolio sites that you can think of, it's taking up a hell of a lot of your time. And that's time you could spend tracking down paying clients. Thinking you should be visible on every platform is a great example of what not to do. But new illustrators do it all the time. They try to do everything, thinking it can't hurt. But it can hurt, and it does. Pick one platform and focus on that. The main point of this video is that you shouldn't focus on the easy stuff, the distractions, the non-essentials. You should dive into the hard stuff, the essential parts of being a professional illustrator. Concentrate on making a living from illustration first, then you can start investing a bit of time and money into a better website or a bigger studio space or whatever else. I hope this is useful. If you're not subscribed, please feel free, and I really do welcome your questions about specific problems. 17 videos in now and nobody has sent me a single question yet. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Yours sincerely, James.